At a bar on Franklin.
Just us. Well, just us.
We do have a special guest.
Very special guest today. Is there any news? You have some news for the...
Well, take a look. This isn't water weight.
Yeah, that's
her name is Emma. Yeah, I'm pregos.
Yeah. It was bound to happen.
Yeah, so my birthday was
after a birthday weekend like that.
My birthday was on Monday. I'm 23 now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's 23 weeks. I'm 23 years old and 23 weeks.
Wow, that's 23 weeks. That's you're just gonna get worse and worse for you.
My water just kidding, guys.
Oh man.
Oh, that's better.
So yeah, the writer's strike is still not fully. We haven't fully integrated the writers back, if you can't tell. Nah, you would be 9 months pregnant after that weekend. Well, I actually don't really know anything about your weekend.
Yeah, we celebrated all weekend for my B-Day. Mind you, the original plan was to take like a quaint little before sunset ass train trip up to Northern California. But instead that was the original idea. I forgot about that. Instead I did hard drugs and went to seedy warehouses where raves were allegedly happening and just like hoping that they were there when I pulled up. So
yeah, you were in the company of like 19-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to make you feel. The only way to feel old as a 23-year-old is to go to raves with.
Yeah, I was like, let's go to 21 plus events only, please, and then like fucking kids are there. We went to...
It's LA, baby.
We went to Subculture, which is a party at a club. That's exactly what it sounds like. The e-girls, the fake bisexual dudes.
Yeah.
The people with like, the furries.
Yeah.
People is a stretch.
Well, I don't think they would even want to be identified.
No, yeah, I didn't want to offend. Like,
what's? Oh my god!
Oh my
god! Yeah, you want to use their preferred pronouns, which isn't people or anything related to humankind.
Yeah. So sorry. But yeah, Subculture was fun, and I danced, I laughed, I cried, I had a shot, and many epiphanies.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was fun. And then we went to an after party after Subculture ended, which was at 2 a.m. because LA's boring and everything shuts down at 2. And we went to this bar. It wasn't even an after party. It was a bar that presented as like a cute, like warmly lit but dim lounge that had like, sofas, and it was just like a big bar. Like they were showing Casablanca like in black and white.
This was downtown?
No, I don't know. I passenger princessed over there. I don't really know like where we were, but I think it was on the east side. It was giving like Silver Lake, but it presented as a very normal bar, but except just it was 4 a.m. and everyone was on drugs I've never heard of.
But you could order drinks?
Yeah, they were serving alcohol.
So how does that?
That's illegal. You can't serve between 2 and 6 a.m. in LA.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. But I saw one of the regulars from our restaurant that we work at there, which was frightening. And
yeah, that's never what you want, least of all on your fucking birthday.
It was already a mess. So we pull up to this after party that I didn't even really want to go. Like I wanted to go to an after party, but this wasn't my first choice. But we pull up and there's this like
beggars can't be choosers.
There's this white bitch not screaming, but like shouting at the bouncer, and she just says to him, "Are you Japanese or Korean?"
Oh.
And he was like, get the fuck out my face, blah blah blah. And he's like checking our IDs, and she like turns to her boyfriend or whatever the fuck. She's like, what? My ex is Chinese. I can ask that. And I was like,
wait, but that wasn't either of the two nationalities that you mentioned.
Right. I was like, whoa, that's somehow more racist.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, this is already the vibe on the way in.
Right.
Then we get in, like me and Jose are standing in the middle of the room or whatever. The girls go over to the bar, and there's 3 random girls standing a few feet away from us. Jose accidentally spills some water out of his water bottle, and it like lands on the floor. A little bit of it splashes onto these girls like ankles or whatever, and they all turn around and they're like, what the fuck was that? And they like look at Jose, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, like that's water, I just spilled a little bit by accident, I didn't see. And they like approach us, and one of like this big bitch is like, you don't do that, and like puts her arm around like the skinny girl that got splashed or whatever. And I was like, okay, it's not that serious. It's literally water. Even if it was on purpose, like it's water. Mm-hmm. And then the third bitch takes her like fucking solo cup or whatever of beer and just pours it on Jose, like on his arm. Mind you, she was in front of me, so I didn't really like witness it happening. But then like he told me that's what she did, and I literally like saw red. Like I have never been so close to violence towards a woman.
That's just an unhinged response to some water, like the most minor inconvenience.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's insane. And it was just you and
yeah, and that was like the first thing that happened when we walked in.
So you've already seen a racist white girl outside, and then
3 bitches
almost had to throw hands,
pouring beer on Jose. So that was already like insane. And then some guy comes up to us because he had a photo booth, and like he's randomly taking photos of one of my girlfriends, and then he makes some joke about like fingering the little slit where the photo booth pictures come out of because it was taking forever. He was like, you have to like finger it or something. And my other friend that we're with, Abby, there's like a moment of silence after he makes that sexual joke, and then she just goes, ah! And then walks away. She just screamed and then left, and like I just like fell on the floor laughing because it was just like insane.
What did he do?
He just kind of like turned away and just kept trying to talk to the girl that he was talking to. And then we go outside to try and get away from like all this nonstop mess and like crazy vibes happening. We go to the patio, and this guy immediately says to one of my girlfriends, he's like, can I have a sip of your drink? And he compliments her fit first. He's like, oh, I love your fit. She's like, thanks. And he goes, can I have a sip of your drink? And she goes, no. Like, she's like, what? No. Like,
of course you can't.
And then he turns to me, he's like, I'm going to ask your other friend for a sip of her drink. And I was like, she's not going to give it to you. Like, what? And she's black and he's white. And then his black guy friend comes around and he's like, this is my friend. Can I have a sip of your drink now? To the black girl, insinuating that like, I have a black friend. Can I try your, like, have your drink? Whatever.
I'm down for the cause.
It was insane. And then they're all like, let's go inside. And he goes, what I do? And then I turned to him, I was like, I don't know, man. You really have a way with the ladies. So I don't really understand what happened. And then he just kind of vaguely like looks around to all the guys on the patio. He goes, sorry, fellas. I was like, did y'all think you were just going to have your picking like with these girls? Like what the
it's
actual
such
fuck?
A good, you can really tell that an interaction went well when moments into it, you're going, what'd I do? That's always a really good sign.
It was so insane. And then I see the regular from our restaurant. And he's like, you guys are looking really good tonight. Be careful. And I was like, we have to go. Like, we literally have to go. Like, this is going to be where my life ends if we don't leave in the next, like, 60 seconds. So...
And mind you, this was 2 days before your birthday. So...
I wasn't even going to see you.
You were going to get cut short, yeah.
Yeah. And then we decided to do it all again the next night. So, yeah, we get home... Saturday night comes around. This was the scheduled after party for Subculture that we had gone to Friday night. So I knew it was going to be similar vibes, the vibes that I like, which is like
the furries,
bubblegum, glitch, pop, Charlie XCX, Boots the House Down core, which is what I signed up for. So we go, and that was really fun. The DJs, but behind like a literal chain link fence inside of a warehouse, and
that's cool.
Yeah, no, it was lit, and that's where I met some 19-year-olds who snuck in, because I remember being like, how old are you guys? And they go, 21 in Minnesota. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, we're in California. Like, what are you talking about? And yeah, they ended up being like cooler than I'll ever be in my life. Like, they were super chill. And yeah, I danced. I took a shot. I had many epiphanies.
Yeah.
But then we went home with this random guy. First of all, I saw one of the 19-year-olds had these really sick sunglasses. He approached another guy who had a really cool skateboard. They literally bartered in front of me. Like, they exchanged the sunglasses for the skateboard because that kid wanted the skateboard. So then we ended up going home with the guy who got the sunglasses. Like, me and my friends go home with them just to like hang out because it was fucking 5 a.m. and we didn't want to go home. So then we go to his place. He turns out to be insane. He's literally telling me that being gay is a choice, which like spill, but I don't want to hear it from you. And also, I'm not here to talk politics. He started talking about like how race comes before sexuality and there's a black epidemic and like against
what?
like he was black. He was saying there's an epidemic against black people. And I was like, there's a black epidemic. So yeah, we like go to leave because he was just, and he was all over my girlfriend who has a boyfriend and he just wasn't respecting that at all. And so yeah, we like left at like 8 a.m. and
wait, so if he hadn't been saying all that crazy stuff, you probably would still be there right now.
Probably, yeah. And then
you're like, we got to get out of here. These vibes are terrible. So let's go right now at 8 a.m. And
you know how bad the vibes have to be for you to leave at 8 in the morning? Like that's crazy. But we left and then it was like a fucking movie moment. My girlfriend's like, look what I stole. And she fucking pulls out the sick ass sunglasses that he bartered his skateboard away for.
Oh my
So God. She has those sunglasses now. And then I was like, look what I got. And I pulled out 2 bags of Coke from his table. And I was like, yo, we won. It was worth going.
Yeah.
Coke and some sunglasses.
Yeah, I saw her with those sunglasses on Sunday, I think, and they are very cool.
Yeah, so it was all worth it in the end. And the cool 19-year-olds followed me on Instagram. So, not to dox, but this guy's name was Stryker.
Right.
And I thought, I was like, where'd you come up with that name? He's like, that's my government name. It's literally spelled STIREICHER or something. Like Striker, but it's pronounced Striker.
Like the Third Reich. Striker.
Just like that, like a Nazi,
Yeah.
I was like, that's literally insane. Like you're gonna have to be
You're
cool.
just born cool.
Yeah, if your name is Strike.
Yeah.
So crazy weekend.
Umk served a table who's and this is a complete stranger, so I'm not doxing him, but his name on his card was Blues Williams. And I was like, did he have a harmonica and was he from the 1920s? And she was like, no. And I was like, well, that's fucking bullshit.
Isn't William long for Bill? It's like you literally call him Blue Bill.
Oh yeah, you're right. Long for? I've never heard the flip side. I have a friend whose name is Dave, like not David. It's Dave, like on his birth certificate. So,
but David is long for Dave. Yeah.
Blues Bill.
Blue billed.
But yeah, he was that guy was a letdown. Shit, I had a question about your. I forgot what it was. So we'll just move past.
Moving on. But yeah, I'm 23 now, and I'm about to make it everyone's problem.
Yeah. Well, so how does it feel knowing that your best days are behind you?
I woke up and I opened my door and there's a bunch of balloons in front of my door and sticky notes on the wall that spell out "Happy Twink Death" by my roommate, and I was like, "Great, that's awesome." So it's over.
Yeah, and none of that was on your actual birthday.
Mm-mm. I'm not allowed in WeHo anymore though. Like if they see my ID and they see it's age 23, they just kick you right out.
Yeah,
you have.
Well, there's a window. You're either under 23 or over 40. I think once you turn 40, you're allowed back into WeHo.
Yeah, but you're a part of the senior citizen crew.
Yeah, and they cause more trouble than anyone, low key. What happened on your actual?
I simply had a meal at a nice restaurant that my friend's manager of. So. Didn't pay for it.
Well, that's what birthdays are all about.
Free stuff. I could tell how much I've changed because of the gifts I received for my birthday. I received a vintage Gucci purse, a Yoshitomo Nara like art print book, a Polly Pocket doll, a voucher for acupuncture, and I feel like I got something else. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, that does sum up the current version of you.
Yeah.
Pretty well. I mean, the vibes this weekend were cursed in general. It did start with a Friday the 13th, so...
Right, because I started celebrating my birthday on Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
which I thought would be cool and fun, because like my birthday's near Halloween, so I wanted it to be creepy, but I didn't intend for it to turn out that way.
Yeah, not that kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Not the creepy where you're like, my life is in danger.
I literally felt like I was in some Spirited Away ass realm where like we stumbled upon somewhere we shouldn't have when we went to that like second bar at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, well, that confuses me because I've been in LA for 13 years now, and like that sounds like one of the least, like, not in terms of the people inside, but just like the setup sounds like one of the least sketchy after hours I've ever heard of. Like,
That's
they had
the thing.
a bouncer outside.
It presented as really not sketchy, and then you talk to the people, and they're literally frightening. That's what made it even more unsettling, is that you think you're safe.
You got lured.
You think you're safe, and then all of a sudden, like, the spirits in Spirited Away start materializing in front of you.
Yeah.
And you kind of turn a corner and you're like, whoa, how the fuck did you get there? Like,
Yeah.
I thought I just, like, by the time I left, I had ops in every single corner of the bar. Like, it was like there were the 3 bitches from the beginning, the guy asking people's drinks, the guy making sex jokes, the guy.
Yeah. Did that white girl ever get in?
No, I don't even know, because I was too far gone to
She
even
probably vaporized through the wall at some point.
Yeah, I was fucking Chihiro, and like there's fucking dragons flying around, and everyone looked like what's that big fat bitch's name?
Starts
Yeah, Yubaba. Every bitch looked like Yubaba to me, and I was just trying to like remember my name. And I was so close to forgetting it, and people had to keep reminding me what my name is.
Yeah.
Truly frightening stuff.
Yeah, work was also just pretty. I mean, although I think we saw maybe the biggest star we've ever come across in either of our lives here.
Star?
Yeah, like celebrity.
Who?
Amanda Bynes.
Amanda Bynes walked by us on the sidewalk. Yeah. That's crazy.
That was.
See, I've been through so much I couldn't even remember Amanda Bynes.
I know that
sighting.
Just think about, for like the average person, how much of a standout moment that would be. And for us, it was just like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I got bigger fish to fry than Amanda Bynes sighting on the sidewalk.
She looked so confused about where she was.
Yeah, she looked lost.
Well, she fully did. She walked both ways up and down. Like, she had no idea where she was going. Mm-mm. Like, when you're so wrong about where you're going that you've actually been heading in the exact wrong direction.
She looked healthier, but crazier. Yeah. Like, there was less of a bodily, like, oh, something's wrong, and more just like a look in her eyes that I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
There's going to be something in the news soon.
Yeah, her friend and her friend who she was with probably knows that look well.
She was with a guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she didn't look like, she looked like she's better than she has been, like, health-wise, like you said. But also maybe that's how she always looks at the beginning of the night, and then by 3 a.m.,
Yeah, because we saw her around like 9 p.m. I think.
Yeah.
So
way too early for her to really have done any damage.
Yeah.
But that honestly is like one of the craziest people I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Like, of all the Robert Pattinsons, like Kristen Stewart,
all of
like
them.
all 10 Robert Pattinson. See, that's the other thing people don't realize about Hollywood, is that there are.
We clone
it's
them
just
here.
A bunch of clones. Yeah,
we clone them here.
But yeah, I was like more shocked and like happy to have seen Amanda Bynes than.
Do you know the impact that like her alter ego in the Amanda Bynes show like had on me as a kid?
Like you mean a negative impact?
No,
same.
I would call her Scary Girl. Like, that was just like the nickname for me. And like we all, my brother and parents and stuff, like we would watch the Amanda Bynes show. And we'd be like, oh my God, there's Scary Girl. And I don't know why, but she had the same effect on me as like Shigo from Kim Possible, and like just Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, that's how I see Amanda Bynes. It's just like this crazy emo girl that I would have loved to have been best friends with.
But the baddest bitch.
Yeah, like cunstress.
Well, you know something interesting about my relationship with Amanda Bynes? Because I grew up watching all that shit, and she was on that. It was the Amanda Bynes show, which was the one that had like Drake and
Bell,
Josh.
yeah.
And it's funny because I think we've talked about it on the pod that I ended up like having a acquaintanceship with Drake Bell and like going to his house all the time and playing music with him and all this shit. But I much rather would have had that with Amanda Bynes this whole time. I remember there was this show, like a game show, and you probably don't remember this because I was young, unless you saw reruns of it, but it was called Figure It Out, where they would have like a kid come on who had some like secret talent or like invented something or whatever, and then they would have like celebrity judges who would be like the people who were on Nickelodeon shows, the child stars on Nickelodeon shows, and we're trying to guess what the thing was that the secret about the kid. And usually it was like you're just guessing random words it would be like I blank, blank, and blank. And like you're trying to figure it out. And Amanda was one of the guest judges. And I was like 10 or 11. And I was watching it at my grandparents' house. And she was about to guess a word. And I was like, as a little kid, I was like, banana. And then she said banana. And my grandma goes, you should marry that girl.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And
and then was that the first time you've ever seen her since then?
Yeah. Yeah. Since we were there together, me watching it on TV when I was.
Yeah.
But I thought that was funny. I just remember that after seeing it.
It seems the universe.
It's like I was destined to marry this woman.
Clearly.
And now I can fix her. I could fix her.
We need to stop with the I can fix them narrative. Because I was telling you earlier, we were reading Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison earlier, and I was like, I can fix Megan, who's literally like this like abusive, terrible father.
Yeah, did you see that tweet that's like God in heaven receiving 37 of the same prayers from a girl saying she could fix the same guy or the same type of guy? Yeah, well, that was just the vibe this week. It was like an Amanda Bynes weekend.
Yeah, that was this Amanda Bynes ass weekend.
That was the entire vibe. And yeah. Well, you made it.
And then it cultivated in us literally seeing Amanda Bynes.
Yeah.
That's the thing about LA. You can have an Amanda Bynes ass weekend and then boom, literally she's there.
Yeah. Yeah, and Oomp was like, I wonder what video is going to come out later tonight.
Literally. I got TMZ on speed dial. My rent is due. You
know that part of Franklin, because of the Scientology building there, that they can't, that like they enforce a no paparazzi rule. The Scientologists do. So that's why I think why celebrities feel so comfortable like going to those bars or whatever.
Wow, and I've been anti-Scientologist all this time. And the reason
have you though?
Someone confused me with a Scientologist the other day, because there used to be some faggot Scientologist who came into our restaurant, and bitches think all white gays look alike, apparently, because this dude was busted. Let's be clear. And someone was like, "Isn't that so and so?"
Well,
like,
also
nope.
He's like 20 years older than you,
right?
So that's the real
Botox
insulting.
and filler boots the house down.
Yeah, that's the insulting part of the whole thing.
Literally. Like, how are you getting Botox and I can still see your wrinkles? Like, what if Glazorp, the intergalactic lord of Scientology, saw your ass?
First of all, it's Xenu, if I remember correctly. Bitch, you're the one that told us about this. Remember? In season 1, you like explained Scientology to the listeners.
If Xenu could see your filler, he'd be so disappointed.
He'd be like, what past life traumas have you been holding on to? Your thetans are all out of... What is that?
I can't. Fuck, I can't remember.
Shout out Fran, friend of the pod, who was like in a group with her friends and was like, I really think I should go in there. I think it would really suit me. And all of them were just like, no. And I was like, yes, you should. It would be perfect for you.
They could fix each other.
Yeah, she could. She could fix them.
Me to Xenu, I could fix them.
But yeah, so if you called TMZ on a topless Amanda Bynes who's having a meltdown, that they couldn't even, like, if they showed up, they would get kicked out.
They're just gonna take photos, but then when the photos like come to like Polaroids, like it's just gonna be Zunu's like face.
Yeah. And that's how you know it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Although one of our regulars works for TMZ.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say is a Scientologist.
Oh well, they're in our midst. Oh.
Sorry, I'm allergic to Scientology.
Xenu blesses you.
Xenu bless you.
That was the other unhinged part of the fucking weekend is there were 20 Scientologists that just materialized.
Yeah, they came in and we work next to an improv theater and these like women came in, they're like, we just had a show. We're like, oh cool, how was it? And they're like good, it was across the street. And we're like, wait, but the theater's
wrong direction.
I was like, if the improv theater is next door to us
and we're here
and you're coming from across the street,
then who's flying this plane?
Who the hell is driving this bus? I was like, oh wait, they're Scientologists. And then like they just kept materializing.
Yeah.
Like, they took up the entire restaurant.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I had to transfer them because I couldn't deal.
Yeah.
I couldn't cope with so many Scientologists.
Scientologists and cops, you got to transfer them right away.
Yeah.
You don't serve them. Yeah, that was crazy. And the part that gagged me was that they were all like 50 or older.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know that was allowed.
And it's weird because there was one random young hot guy there amidst like a bunch of like literal 65-year-old like women and men.
Yeah.
No black people. They were all white.
Of course not.
Except for the guy. He was like darker skinned, not black, but a secret third thing. Not white or black, but a secret third thing.
Yeah, that was very strange. And they were like turning up too. They were drinking.
For real.
Yeah.
They just wanted to find a religion where it's like, there really is no like sinning.
No, that's true. I used to, now that I think about it, I've always worked or lived in very close proximity to like a church of Scientology. And I used to work next door to the one on Hollywood Boulevard at the Pig and Whistle, which is actually the t-shirt I'm wearing. And that was one where they have the people out front, like trying to indoctrinate people or whatever. And I finally got to a point where they like recognized me and wouldn't bother me. But one of them I got close with or like talked to, and I was just like, so can y'all just like fuck and stuff or what? Right. He's like, oh yeah,
they can do anything.
They can do whatever they want.
They can be gay, they can drink, they can
fuck,
they
can even
curse.
be like Christian or Jewish.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Maybe I will join. I would like to do all these things without guilt.
Yeah, I mean you should take what are they called? The personality test or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's just start there.
Yeah.
Let them tell you what's wrong with you first, and then.
Yeah. Let me just do the tour.
Yeah.
The open house. They have an open house like
they
every
have
day.
A daily open house that goes until 10 p.m.
Yeah, it's like a 12-hour daily open house. Like, bitch, that's why even specify? Like, that's just a house.
Yeah.
Like anyone can just.
If it's open more than it's closed, then you don't need to have the.
Yeah,
open
you don't
part.
have to specify. Like, it's literally just.
You should just put up a sign that says closed house and it's these hours.
That's like if I were calling the restaurant we work at an open house. Like it's already public and open. Like why would I have to specify that?
Mm-hmm. Great point.
So Lana Del Rey. Speaking of Scientology.
Is she?
Wait,
is she?
No. But
she's fighting the allegations.
Lana's, much like me having to fight the Scientologist allegations, Lana's having to fight the grew up rich allegations. Yeah,
which is, it's something that I've heard about her like since Born to Die, like her.
Exactly. This is a decades long fight.
Like since 2012, I've been hearing about this.
First of all, I love Lana Del Rey. Like she is my number one, my ride or die. I've met her. I've seen her 5 times in concert. I have flown from coast to coast just to see her in concert. Like this is my bitch, and I love her. Mm-hmm. But everyone says she romanticizes the trailer park and like LARPs being impoverished and stuff like that, and that's why bitches have.
I mean, she
hated.
Does have the vibe. She embraces that vibe to the point where she just fully works a shift at a Waffle House.
That's the thing. Even now, she was working at a Waffle House not that long ago.
Yeah, and like, why though?
Well, she might have been filming a music video to show what it was like growing up.
Right.
Because she just posted this video and then she deleted it like the queen she is within like 3 minutes. Like I logged in at the exact second to be able to watch it, and by the time I had finished watching the video, when I refreshed, it was gone.
Oh, she deleted it.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
So people are reposting it on Twitter as like a screen recording, but like she literally posted it and immediately deleted it. I just happened to like be on at the exact right time.
I wonder what needs to be wrong with your brain that if you're watching a video within the first 3 minutes of it being out, that your first thought is, I better be screen recording this. Because there are people that do that.
That was literally my thought. Because I tried to go to the comments and it said comments not loading right now, and I was like, oh my god, this bitch deleted it. I was like,
yeah, but you didn't think that while you were watching it.
Kind of, because it's just with her though, because she stays doing that. She stays posting and immediately deleting, and she's real for that.
I mean, I get why she deleted it. Anyway, well, what was it? Because we're just talking about this video and nobody knows what we're talking about. This video that was deleted after 3 minutes. And expecting them to keep up with what we're talking about.
Basically, she addresses, it's a 5-minute long video, and she addresses the rumors.
Which is like
crazy.
Oppenheimer length.
Literally, like, but I have a job. Like, I can't.
And the first thing she says is, I'm going to keep this short. And then proceeds to.
That is literally the first thing she says. She's like, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. The thing about Lana, too, is that she puts on an accent, like whatever accent suits her at the time. Mm-hmm. Or like will work to her benefit. So of course she's talking about how she grew up in a rural town and like poor and stuff. So she's like, hey y'all, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet.
Yeah, but she grew up in like northern New York, which can be rural, but you don't have a southern accent when you're from there.
I know. And then when she tours in Brazil or something, she's like, you guys, like, I love you so much. Like, thank you so much for coming. Like, I don't know, I fucking love her. But
I do too. I really Lana's one of my favorite artists.
Yeah. But she basically says she did, in fact, grow up poor, and that her father bought domains. I don't really know what that is, but that they didn't pay off until later. She's like, just because my father bought domains doesn't mean we have money then.
Yeah, so what she's fighting against right now is the fact that, I mean, obviously she's made money, but also her dad's super rich right now too.
Yeah,
and that's independent of her and her music.
Yeah,
career.
But the hoes were saying her dad was rich in the first place and that she chose to live in trailer parks and stuff like this. But one, she has mother issues. She just didn't grow up like talking to her mom and stuff, whatever.
Yeah, her mom was like abusive.
Yeah, something like that. Two, it was like mostly her mom who sent her away to a boarding school for her drinking habits. Mm-hmm. But she was saying that she went to the boarding school on financial aid because her uncle worked in the administrative office. She said you can ask anyone at the school or anyone in her hometown. Like, she said she had 4 jobs at one time and that they would drive down to Daytona for their like yearly spring break trip because flying was too expensive, and that she didn't make any money until she was 26.
I mean, I definitely believe her. Like, I believe that. I think I understand why I understand why people would be mad or like come for her like that, because you look at the way it is now. And like, I just was reading about her dad, and like, he did make a fucking shitload of money, like doing some web stuff, like selling, like domain designing or whatever.
There's that word again.
What does it mean? That's just websites. Like,
what
websites.
does it mean?
But I understand being like, this is disingenuous. Your dad's like literally owns yachts, and like, it's not even, I think people don't get mad if it's like a nepotism thing or like a wealth thing where you're like, you're only famous because you were able to put money into it. People can get over that. But if they feel like you're being disingenuous and like acting like you were poor when you weren't, I can see why, like, I can see how that's very annoying. Mm-hmm. There's nothing, there would be nothing, it's just a shitty thing to do, to like co-opt a struggle that you never had.
Yeah.
But based on this now deleted video, I mean, it's all pretty believable.
And I never even questioned her in the first place because I can relate in ways like my family's financial situation has been so up and down. Because you, like, if I were to blow up for some reason, like, you could look at my past and be like, oh, his family had money at one point.
Like nice ass house.
Yeah.
But then also like.
But then they did lose
living in an apartment.
My dad lost all that money. Like he made a lot of money doing like Bitcoin trading, which is just as confusing as whatever the fuck buying domains is. But he made a lot of money, but then he lost it all because of like, I don't know.
Well, and also if you know, for both of our, you were younger, but for both of our like childhoods, there was like a pretty significant recession and financial crisis that affected everyone. And like a lot of people, like I have a friend her dad was in real estate, and like, so literally went from having a very upper middle class or even upper class upbringing to losing it all and like living in an apartment.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people got in the 2008 thing. So there are plenty of stories where you're like, they got.
Yeah, we sure did.
You guys got.
Because we moved like in 2008.
Yeah.
Like right before or something. And my parents had to foreclose on the house that we had in Florida. And if I were to make a Lana video like that, I'd be like, my parents had to foreclose. Like, I'm tired of the narrative that my parents fought about money.
Yeah. And that's
like,
how you know it's true, is because of all the accents. She's not doing the British accent. And that, as we know,
the Brits are always at the scene of the crime when it comes to like making money or exploiting others for profit.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're a white woman and you're lying on a video
from New York, mind you,
you adopt a British accent.
Yeah.
Which is how it works.
And to me, what is the difference between if you lived at a trailer park when you were 6 years old or 16? Like, if you were still under your parents' roof, and it's like...
Well, and...
she wasn't under her parents' roof. She said she depended on her boyfriends for a place to stay after she signed her first record deal.
Yeah.
Which was a crazy record deal, by the way.
Yeah.
She said it was 10 records for $10,000. And she made $10,000 stretch over a year and 1 month by living in a RV mobile home campsite. And then also just staying with boyfriends. Mm-hmm. And I was asking you, would you, as a musician, would you take a deal making 10 records for $10,000? But I guess put yourself in the year. It was 2010 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, even then, 10,000 is like nothing.
I know. She was kind of really fucking stupid for that.
She was kind of really a fucking dumb.
Which leads me to even more believe that she didn't know what the fuck was going on, because she was not financially literate enough to realize that is a terrible deal.
I mean,
yeah. Am I right?
I mean, you're not wrong. It depends on the faith that she had in herself, and also like would I sign that deal to produce 10 albums worth of songs? Yeah, because I could do that in a few months. But like, would I do that if I was the artist associate? Because there are things like that exist where like you get paid to make 100 songs or whatever, and the only purpose of those is to be put in a library that like people who are making commercials or web series or movies or TV shows need a song. They can like look through this library and get one. And that does exist in that way. And I would absolutely do that for that value. Like, I don't know, $100 a song or whatever. But the way that she did it, and the fact that those were her actual, like the songs she was writing for herself and the songs that actually like meant a lot to her, that's bananas. That's such a bad deal.
That must be why she has so many unreleased songs on SoundCloud. There's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that just like never made it onto an album, but they've all been leaked.
Yeah,
but she did get out. She didn't finish that deal.
No, yeah, because she hasn't put out 10 albums.
Because her manager got her out of it pretty early on.
Yeah, and that would be, if she wasn't out of that deal, that would probably go down in history as like the worst contract that an artist has ever.
She was living in a hostel on 17th Street when she performed on Saturday Night Live, and she said her parents didn't even know she was singing until Saturday Night Live.
And they still didn't know whether she was singing after that performance.
Right. Because, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the most brutal performances. But I still love her.
It's crazy that she brought up SNL and didn't mention why she sounded like that.
Yeah.
Because in this video, that's when she said the SNL stuff. But I thought she was going to be like, by the way, I know I sounded like absolute fucking shit. Like,
maybe she was Maybe she kind of was by saying she was staying in a hostel on 17th Street. Just so you motherfuckers know, that's why it sounded like that. I think she sounded like that because she was astral projecting out of her body because she had just signed a $10,000 record deal, and then
I don't know someone who could have been more down terrible in that very moment. Like living in a hostel on 17th Street, but about to perform on SNL, but only having $10,000 to stretch to make 10 albums.
Yeah.
But is beautiful, freshly Botoxed face on national television. Like she was in a crazy position.
Yeah, the emotional whiplash that she
literally, and then waking up to the reviews of your SNL performance. Well,
I know she knew what was happening as it was happening in the like on stage.
Wait,
because you can kind of see.
As a musician, can you tell me like why, like what deal she was talking about? She said the only reason I got SNL was because I did a publishing deal with Germany, Sweden, Auschwitz, something like. I don't know what she was talking about when she said that.
I kind of tuned out for that part of the video. What I mean, that doesn't. Those would be two separate things unless she's saying that. Like,
wait, I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay.
No, it's not. I didn't have a chance hardly. All of the cards hearing fighting about money, told so that the music can be listened. Had it talked that there was any money for us or to, and how I play Saturday Night Live is because I had gotten a publishing deal in Germany, Austria, Switzerland. Gas territories. So
what does that mean? Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and the gas territories.
I don't know what that has to do with her being on SNL.
That's literally, she goes, this is how I played SNL.
Maybe she was saying she had a separate deal besides that record deal that was a publishing deal, and so she was making more money than just that 10,000. But it's still like the only reason the SNL has nothing to do with a record deal. It has to do with like if you have a song that's popular at that moment.
Yeah.
That's the only reason you're going to get asked to play SNL is if you're like...
Yeah, I'm really confused in what she was talking about.
And maybe so is she.
She's like, you just made that up.
Well, she's just really trying to... This is her at her most offensive, like really trying to stick up for herself. Because, and I'm sure that shit's annoying. Like if she actually grew up fucking not without any of the benefits that people are saying she had, then I could see it being like...
Well, she says herself, I just want you to listen to the music like through a clear mindset of like you understand where the music is coming from, because like it's going to be polluted if you're just
if you
assuming
think that it's not genuine.
Yeah, if you're assuming it's all about money, or like she's like lying about what she's been through. And she said herself in her question for the culture, like, I'm not glamorizing anything. I'm just a glamorous person talking about what I've been through.
That's true. And you do have to realize that part of it is just how she is, rich or poor. Like, she did work a fucking shift at a Waffle House, and she's rich as fuck right now. And like, I think she's just actually like, it's a funny word, but I think she's just a whimsical ass bitch. Like, she just does things according to the whims that she's feeling.
She's whimsical and fantastical.
Yeah.
And I also didn't even really think there's anything wrong with romanticizing like Trailer Park. Bitches on Twitter be tweeting all the time that like you have to romanticize your life and like romanticize little things like that.
Yeah.
It's like if I were in a trailer park, bitch, I'd be like, oh my god, this is so like Bambi, coquette, Red Scare, Dasha Core, like Slavic, like like that kind of vibe. And then apparently if I made music about it, people would be upset.
Well, I think people were mostly upset because they perceived it to not be true. A. But B, I also think that, you know...
She has an interview as like Lizzie Grant before she changed her name. There's an interview of her from her first album before Born to Die that's just called Lizzie Grant, a.k.a. Lana Del Rey. And she's being interviewed in a trailer park for it.
Well, yeah.
And she got the accent down. And she's like...
you don't... How many people do you think are... even know about that interview? You know what I mean?
A lot. She's like... I always sit down at the same place. That way the muse knows where to find me. Which is like kind of low-key exactly what we're doing with this podcast.
True.
The muse knows to find us in this fucking room.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder how you would feel about it if you grew up in a trailer park. Because I think there's...
I wanted to live in a trailer park for a while.
Yeah, but if you had to, you know, instead of wanting to, or you know.
Yeah, but when I was 17 and I was dating my high school boyfriend who was 15, and my parents were totally against the relationship, and his parents were too, and we felt totally alone in the world. We were like, let's live in that trailer park that's is under the overpass, and they're like painted pastel colors, and they're like near the beach, and I was just like, yeah, living like a few miles away from my parents at a trailer park is gonna fix everything. And that was just my dream. And I was listening to Lana at the time.
What a coincidence. So
I've never questioned that.
No, the people are mad because they think that she didn't live in a trailer park.
Yeah, well, she did, and now everyone can be shut the fuck up about it.
Well, except for she deleted the video, so.
She should have left it up. Why did she do that?
Because she rewatched it and saw the part where she said that shit about SNL and was like, yeah, that didn't
She's
make
like, wait, what the fuck is the German, Austria, Swedish deal?
Yeah. Anytime she even mentions SNL, she just projects out of her
oh,
body.
Fuck, I forgot to like crop it. Crop it out.
Yeah, edit it the way Ariana edited that one video.
I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. Talks for literally an Oppenheimer amount of time.
Yeah. she fucking Oppenheimer does.
Speaking of women sharing far too much.
This fucking motherfucking Jada Pinkett Smith.
Jada Pinkett Smith, Britney Spears, not in the same category. I don't know why I said their names together.
Well, the thing they have in common, yeah, they're
having a mid-off. Let's be real.
Truly, and Jada, the thing that annoys me about Jada is like, if we can all like come together and agree that we don't care about it, then why is she still being interviewed? You know, like it's so.
Is she being interviewed or random things from her book just coming out on pop?
She's doing interviews because she's promoting a book,
right?
But like, and so obviously, she's being placed in interviews by like her publishing company or whatever. And it's not, and some of these are I'm sure all of it are details from the book, but it's like, you're being uncomfortably honest. And like, you have a literal family. You have a husband and 2 children who like have to wake up each day and like see whatever random bullshit and it's also like, it feels like she'll say something and then she'll be like, all right, well now I got to say something even crazier than that the next day.
Well, they're all cringe. I mean, I was about to say, well, like Willow Smith and Jaden Smith are like cool, but then I got a war flashback to when Jaden Smith is on that podcast, and he's like,
can we just be talking about like the socioeconomic state of the world?
Everyone's talking about who they're fucking and what drugs they did. It's like, bro, can we just talk about the Israel-Palestine conflict? Like,
yeah, well, no. And one of the details that came out in the last like week was her saying like, I think Jaden put her on to psychedelics and it like helped her do a lot of healing or whatever. And the comments in that were just unhinged. I guess I wasn't prepared.
Her son put her on to psychedelics to heal.
Yeah, as a replacement for therapy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know how that happens sometimes.
Yeah.
So it was just, and I wasn't ready for the comment section because I don't know. I don't give a shit about psychedelics, but I guess like for some people, psychedelics are like right there with crack or heroin.
They're still a little taboo, I feel.
Yeah.
Mind you, we're in LA, but most of America doesn't fuck with them.
Yeah. And so everyone was just like, her kids should be taken away from her.
They're having a CPS off.
Yeah.
Like,
well, yeah.
Will and Jada, like, who can get our kids taken from us the quickest?
Well, and also, okay, so the one thing that's kind of interesting is she kicks off this whole fucking book tour saying her and Will haven't been together in 7 years.
I thought it was 12.
Either way,
during
the time that he got up on stage and slapped Chris Rock, what the fuck was that all about?
He said, or she said that was the first time he called her his wife.
Yeah.
And she was like, why'd you call me that?
Yeah.
Even she was just as confused as we all are.
Yeah. That's fucking bananas.
And I'm pro slap. Like, I'm pro, because
physical violence.
Yeah. I'm just pro violence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pro Will Smith. I'm pro Hamas.
Well, the lucky thing for you is both sides of that situation are pretty violent. So you just stay winning.
Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, he tweeted today and he said, "I'm on my way to Israel." And I quote tweeted it and I said, "Hamas, you know what to do."
Oh my God. This character that you play online it's hard to keep track of sometimes.
Who said anything about playing a character?
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, no, it's just, and then like just the blatant disrespect to, like, she's constantly saying how much she would rather be with Tupac. And it's so funny because 2 weeks ago, your dad shared that well-known Tupac quote.
Yeah, my dad, in the midst of this crazy divorce that my parents are going through, he posted a photo on Facebook of Tupac allegedly saying, sometimes the person you would take a bullet for is the one behind the gun. So Jada understands. And Will understands.
Yeah. And I've always thought this about your parents getting divorced, that your dad is just like Will Smith and your mom is just like Jada Pinkett.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. It's coded.
Uh-huh. It's not Britney and Justin coded. It's
no.
Will and Jada coded.
Yeah. But what you need to fill me in on the Britney thing, because she also has a book, right?
Coming out. It's not out yet, I don't think.
I don't think Jada's is either.
We should all know less about each other. Britney said that she had an abortion like at the peak of her career because Justin didn't want to be a dad. But also it was definitely for the best because that kid would have been wrapped up in the conservatorship or whatever, and
yeah,
she would have been a crazy slut who was.
So you're coming out as pro-abortion right now, not pro-choice,
just
but
once. And in rare circumstances such as rape and incest and Britney Spears, abortion is okay.
That should be in the law.
Britney Spears impregnated by Justin Timberlake, because who the fuck wants to have his kid? But yeah, Justin didn't know your father. He also allegedly she said he broke up with her over text.
Yeah.
And I didn't know they had text back then. Like I saw that and I was like, what? I thought it was like telegrams. He broke up with her via telegram.
Yeah. Via carrier pigeon.
He cheated on her, which is apparently the narrative was that she cheated on him because of that video he put out, Cry Me a River. Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically it's just a lot of Justin Timberlake tea that he was like a terrible person.
Yeah, and the media at the time had his back like pretty heavily. Well, because society
you
hates
witnessed
women.
it firsthand, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really. Yeah, I mean, I guess I did. I was a big NSYNC fan, but I was also a big Britney fan.
Were you pro Justin?
I was pro whatever keeps those motherfucking bangers coming out. That's all I cared about.
Right.
And she was also, no, she was still at the peak too. I think I was pro Britney. Britney was like one of my first celebrity crushes I ever had, as the case with literally any man my age, straight man my age.
Yeah.
You could ask them and that's a part of their, but yeah, things got sketch for her after that. And a lot of it now, as we're finding out, is like,
but like how so? Because I've never really like been into Britney like that.
Oh, I mean, she just like, that was kind of what led to her kind of spiraling a little bit, and then eventually culminates with like the video of her shaving her head and like, just a lot of things got crazy, like the 24-hour marriage. This, and mind you, this stuff back then was a lot more, we had less to talk about. There wasn't the same kind of like, I don't know, there wasn't as much, the internet didn't play a role, so everyone would be fixated on these certain things, like Michael Jackson doing crazy stuff, Britney Spears doing crazy stuff. Like these were big storylines. Now on the internet, when something crazy happens, you can expect like a new thing in the next 24 to 48 hours to focus on. Or people's attention span is so short that they don't give a fuck anymore, because like everyone was like geeked and freaked about Doja Cat wearing a shirt with Sam Hyde on it a few days ago. Yeah. Now I can barely even remember that happened. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about then versus now, and how much worse it got for her is because it wasn't like imagine you do some shit now where you have a bad moment or like a messy breakup or there's cheating or something and you're a celebrity, and the first thing you're gonna feel terrible, and the first thing your publicist is gonna tell you is like, in 7 days nobody's gonna give a shit about this anymore. But
Right.
back then she was like one of the biggest stars in the world, and it was all anyone was gonna fixate on.
And they were telling her this has ruined your career forever, probably.
Yeah,
This is all
yeah.
anyone's going to remember you for.
Yeah, so I mean, I probably will read this book because I think it's going to be interesting, and I think people should read this book and not watch The Idol, because it's like it's like, why wouldn't we want the real version of it? Like, let's hear how it actually was instead of like this weird romanticized like.
Yeah, the thing about being famous today versus like Britney's time is that today I feel like war is so like well documented now that you can kind of do whatever you want, because it's all just going to go back to like Israel Palestine or something. Like no one's going to give a fuck that I acted out or whatever, said something problematic, because it's like I can just be like, well, Israel has an apartheid over Palestine. Everyone's gonna be like, so true, queen. And it's like, oh, you forgot I fucking like wore a shirt that had Sam Hyde's face on it.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm really grateful for these days, and I can understand Britney's.
Well, because it's pretty inevitable that you're gonna get canceled at some point, but now there's just kind of been more of a playbook of how to get through it,
and there's
with
like,
your career fully intact as if nothing ever happened.
And you can divert it by like
talking about like some real
blowing something up,
talking about some like real human rights atrocities, and just be like, yeah, exactly. So I used a slur, but like babies are dying or whatever. And
it's like your Instagram story is like using a slur in one, and then the next one is like
a fundraiser.
It's like, donate to the West Bank and save a life in Gaza or something.
Yeah.
Or Israel, whatever gets me more brownie points.
Yeah, that too. And try them both. Do one or the other.
I'm gonna like avidly support Israel one day and then Palestine the next.
Yeah.
See what happens. Everyone's just gonna be too confused to cancel me.
Yeah. Or the canceling gets canceled out.
What if celebrities were acting like the governors and presidents and being like, I'm on my way to Israel right now?
Yeah, just saying whatever. Yeah, because that's the thing, is like,
it's gonna be like, who was that bitch that said she survived a plane crash and there's like no record of that plane crash happening?
Well, that's what's his name is George Santos is like
him
gonna go to jail.
Yeah.
Who said his mom died in 9/11 and then like she died of cancer like 7 years after 9/11.
Yeah, it'll be like Lady Gaga saying she went to the White House and did some of her own investigating after the Capitol riots or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just feel like celebs should just like get on their private jets and go to Palestine and be like, I'm in Palestine, or don't, and just say you did.
Yeah.
And who even is going to check you?
Yeah. Floyd Mayweather sent his private jet full of supplies, apparently. I read that. I don't know if it happened or not, but
right, you could just say anything.
He said he did that.
Yeah, you can literally say anything. Be like, I'm on my way. You guys are in a crisis.
Yeah. Don't worry. I know everyone's been waiting to see what my specific response to this is, and I've decided, and I'm going. So it's going to be handled shortly.
Who could actually like help? Like what celeb would actually fucking find their way over there?
That could actually fix it.
Yeah, that could make everyone lay down their weapons.
Probably JoJo Siwa. Just the first.
Hey guys, it's JoJo Siwa.
They just need a common enemy, you know?
That's the truth. Israel and Palestine just need a common enemy. I say we sacrifice JoJo Siwa to the cause, because she's gonna get there and be like, you guys have an apartheid, but you guys have Hamas. And
I love the way that you've just latched onto these certain words and just are so able to say them in regards to this situation.
It would work for sure. We could send JoJo Siwa and maybe like Amanda Bynes, because we know where she's at. Yeah,
maybe that's what she was looking for that night. She's just trying to find her way to the Gaza Strip. All right, well, we came to time, so I think we covered a lot of ground. We have some very good ideas. So
Yeah.
thanks for listening, guys. As always, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. And we'll see you next week. And we're going to have a guest probably, maybe.
Yes, we are.
Which is very exciting.
Stay
All right.
safe.
Love you guys.